Is the mic on? Episode 26. What's wrong with Orny Adams?
When Gemini 4 first launched men into space, Tang instant breakfast drink went with them. Since then, people everywhere have launched the day with Tang. Because nothing fuels up your family like a nutritious breakfast.
Nutritious. Are you old enough to remember the propaganda, what they fed us about Tang and the astronauts? What? Everybody is trying to sell you something. Everybody has an angle. Look at Aquafresh. Anybody else upset with Aquafresh? This has been bothering me for years. When it comes out of the tube, it's not even close to those colors. Not even close. They've been getting away with this my entire life. On this episode, I'm going to examine the insides of Aquafresh, the tube. I'm going to actually dissect it, and I'm going to dissect my return to stand-up comedy. It's very, very exciting.
Mom, my gums are bleeding.
Oh, no! Wait a minute. She said gums, right?
Mom, my gums are bleeding.
Yeah, gums.
They're swollen and bleeding from gingivitis.
Oh, no, gingivitis.
So
you need Aquafresh. Aquafresh. Yes! What's wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 26 starts right now.
Reduces gingivitis.
Reduces gingivitis. One complete toothpaste. They all do that now. What a scam. We got Orny Adams. Where are my notes? I think I have notes somewhere, don't I? Well, I've got the hummingbird egg right here. The broken. I've got to be very careful. That is an actual hatched hummingbird egg that was outside of my house. I'm going to discuss my my return to stand-up comedy. I did. I've been doing lots of shows. I worked the road last week. I went home. It's very exciting. I will discuss my future, perhaps. I don't know what I'm going to discuss. And I've got viewer mail, so much more. And let's just get into this. My name is Orny Adams, and everything's wrong. Everything is absolutely wrong. I mean, this Aquafresh, and I encourage you, if you listen to this podcast, some of these episodes are now up on YouTube. So you can go to youtube.com/Orny Adams, and there's a tab for What's Wrong with Orny Adams videos. And eventually I will get somebody on that and have a very professional looking page that might get some traction. Because I just read that 1 billion hours are watched every single day. Is that true? 1 billion hours on YouTube? And I am responsible for 27 minutes of that. Total, every day. Is that one recording? I don't know if I hit record. Hold on. This is unprofessional of me, but I don't know if I hit record. I did. So much to think about. So much to think about here in the studio. I now have new cameras. Not new cameras. I've got a monitor now, and I've got a switcher. But it's basically just me here doing all this, going crazy. And then by the time I set everything up, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras. Now I've added monitor, switcher, audio. I hope this is recording. By the time I get into doing the podcast, I'm exhausted. I'm ready for a nap. And I was hoping to go to the gym today because I am back to living my life. I've got got both shots, and I went on the road last week, and I'm going back to the gym, and I'm trying to just get back to feeling healthy. Because when you're on stage, you don't want to feel gross up there. That's for sure. Here's the problem with the monitor. I can now see my hair in different angles, and I'm like, oh boy, look at this. It's like alfalfa. I shouldn't have done a monitor. I wish I could find headsets that don't mess with my hair so much. This Aquafresh, not even close. Now let's go over the history of Aquafresh, because initially there were two colors, just two. And the ads came out. I was a young kid. I remember when it came out. They called it magic. It was magic. Listen to this Aquafresh commercial.
Look, it's magic.
It's a special kind of magic.
Special.
It's Aquafresh's triple protection formula. Nobody else has it. Fights cavities with all the fluoride of the leading paste.
Cavities.
Freshens breath with all the freshener of the leading gel. Cleans stained film with gentle effective
Stained
cleaners.
film.
concentrated in one complete toothpaste.
Okay, well, that's when I
prefer Aquafresh.
I like your magic, Mr. Foster.
I like your magic, Mr. Foster. That's the one that I was introduced to, was the triple action. But before that, I'm sorry, there was, let's see if this is the one. There were just two strips. And apparently, there was a time toothbrush wasn't used to freshen your breath. I don't remember this time, but this is Aquafresh's claim to fame, is that they introduced breath freshener. Well, why the hell else are you brushing your teeth? Let's see if this one. No, that is not it. Where's the original Aquafresh commercial? Maybe it's this one with Loverboy.
Are you kidding? Switch toothpaste. Loverboy here needs his fluoride paste.
Oh, Mom, I want a gel for fresh breath.
Pat, we switched to Aquafresh. Now we fight cavities and freshen breath.
Anyway, it was in 1983, Aquafresh was reformulated to add a new gel, a red gel. So people in the 70s didn't get the red gel. And here's, as far as I'm concerned, this was a huge mistake, because Aquafresh couldn't even get the two colors to come out right. Now they had three. You know, the engineers were like, we can't even get two to work. Now you want us to add a third color? And then they've been getting away with this for so long. I actually cut open a tube. But first, let me show you. These are brand new tubes of Aquafresh. And never been opened. And, you know, there's no magic here. Okay? And I'm going to... Now, I hope this works. This is my experiment. Here's tube number one. Tube number one. I am going to... Ready? He's watching this live, everybody. What do you think? Is it going to come out? Because I've done these things before where they fail. Like, there was a time I was obsessed with Dots, the candy, and how none of the Dots packages had enough green. Green's my favorite. And I was convinced that they were limiting the number of greens, because everybody else loves green as much as me. That's what I assumed. That we would have to go buy more packages to get more greens. And that we weren't enjoying the other ones, or perhaps even throwing them out. I felt like I was being scammed. Listen. A lot of conspiracy theories out there. A lot of people nowadays think that there's lizard people. They believe there's government conspiracy, that aliens have been here, that the earth is flat, that the Egyptians didn't build pyramids. There's a lot of Bigfoot, a lot of conspiracy. I'm the only one who believes that there's a Dots conspiracy, that the Dots people have been limiting the number of green to increase sales. And so I made a video, and I'm going to play it for you in a few minutes, where I actually opened a box. I went to all different cities and bought Dots when I was on the road with my friend Eric, who was my opener at the time. And we decided to sit down and do a video. And the first box that I opened had more greens than anything else. And that was the end of that. I never released the video. I was shamed. I was shamed, and... I'm going to share that moment with you because I think it's funny. And again, now I'm sort of switching this to a video podcast too. So I don't know what will... Before, I knew it was all audio, so I knew people were just listening. Now there are some visual components too. So I encourage you to go to YouTube, and there's some promos up on my Instagram and my Twitter and Facebook. Boy, a lot of promoting going on already, and we're just 8 minutes in. I apologize. Tube one, are we excited? What do you think's going to happen? I'll tell you what I think's going to happen. The initial Aquafresh is going to look colorless. It always just looks like, and then it looks like what comes out is a second color, and it's very faint, and it looks almost melted in there. It's not crisp. There's no crisp lines. If it was crisp lines, I would say magic. You're right, Aquafresh. You have created magic. Where's that commercial with magic? Look at this.
Look, it's magic.
That's what they claimed. I believed it, just like I believed that the astronauts love their tang. We'll get into that in a minute, too. All right, here we go. Tube one. Well, we've got light blue. There's a hint of red on the side. Hint of red on the side. Okay. Does this look anything like this? Look at it. Want me to go deeper? I don't even know what's going on. The red barely looks like red. The blue looks really not bluish. And there's no distinct lines. So that's one. That's tube one. I call that a fail. Let's go to tube number 2. Aqua Fresh. But look at that. You can see I just ripped it open. Okay. What's going to happen here? Here's tube number 2. Tube number 2. Ready? What does everybody think that's listening? Are we going to have a success? Because I've never had a success. This is me going to brush my teeth going, oh, look at the beautiful colors. This is going to be exciting. Can't wait to see what it looks like on my toothbrush. And then that comes out. What is that? What is that? What is that, Aqua Fresh? You guys should be... Oh, this is actually pretty good. This one's actually better. I would give that a B-. I would give that a B- on tube number 2. Because that red... Now, I'm going to put... Look at tube number 1. So we're at 50% right now. Tube number 1 compared to tube number 2. Tube number 1 is an absolute failure. Tube number 2, I would say, is passable. Boy, I hope this doesn't turn into dots again, and then I'm embarrassed. Well, I have decided to up it. The decider will be, the breaker, the tiebreaker will be Aqua Fresh Extreme Clean. I believe that this has 3 colors too. Well, if it's extreme, it's got to have a more yellow card. So here we go. Here is a brand new tube of Extreme. Okay, I'm looking in. What do we got? Well, I don't know what's happening here. It looks like this is just 2 colors. It says there's 3 colors. I mean, look at right there. I see 3 colors. And then here I just see 2 colors. Where's the 3rd color? Yeah, this is a fail. Aqua Fresh has failed. Has absolutely failed. Now you wonder what's inside the Aqua Fresh tube. Well, I'm going to play a video for you right now. Yesterday I recorded where I actually dissect a tube of Aqua Fresh. And I'm just going to clean up while you guys listen to this. Oh, I should have brought a bag or something. Aqua Fresh claims that it is magic in a tube. So we're going to open the tube and find out with some basic household items. Of course, I should auction these things off. Nobody would take it. I'll use it. Oh, Aqua Fresh claims that it is magic in a tube. So we're going to open the tube and find out with some basic household items. Of course, safety goggles. And this is a brand new, right off the shelf tube of Aqua Fresh. Can you believe this is how I spend my time? The receipt, but I'm embarrassed that I got it at the dollar store. Okay, there's the receipt. 3 tubes, brand new, just got it. Where's the date? Hold on a second. Look at this, I can return it within 9 days. Look at there's some items on that receipt that are $1.49, but then the bag is 10 cents. Like, that's a great opportunity to, make an extra 90 cents dollar store. Like, your policy is everything's $1, right? So why's the bag 10 cents? 9 days? Exchange for store credit. Exchange or store credit within 9 days. That is so bizarre. What a weird amount of time. Anyway, let's open the tube. Let's get to the bottom of this. Aqua Fresh. And the commercial, they just... Obviously, that's a little bit of movie magic. So just to prove that this is Aqua Fresh. Watch how crappy... Look at it. I mean, there's no separation of color. Oh, there's blue. Hello. Nice to see you, Blue. Thanks for showing up. Let's cut in here. I don't even know what the best way to do this is. I've always had really... Wow, look at it. It's all... I should cover this. It really starts... Can you see that? That is the inside. I'm going to pause that. That's the inside of an Aqua Fresh toothpaste tube. Yes. I mean, it looks like it's just melted. Mm-hmm. And don't tell me it's because I bought it at the dollar store, because I've bought some of the, pricier store Aquafresh. I think you know what I mean, Target.
Scissors.
I've had the same problems. So let's go right down here.
I'm actually...
That's what you would do? How would you...
Right now, I'm using a scissor to open up the tube of toothpaste. What is inside?
This is the inside... What other podcast is showing you the inside workings of Aquafresh, which they call magic?
You got to see this. What a disgrace, Aquafresh.
Looks like a crime scene.
I'm playing with it.
Where's the blue?
Not enough blue.
Where's the blue?
Not enough. Must have been a blue.
There's blue right there, but, I mean, shouldn't there be... You see the commercial. I'll show you the commercial. I'll show you what it looks like. There should be blue on this side, right?
Where's the blue? What are they? We're out of blue this week. Well, we can't stop making the
Aquafresh all over
the Aquafresh. Yeah, it's a mess. I've made a mess. Look at this.
Okay, there's no way this was ever going to come out of the tube.
This gimmick's got to
like
end,
this.
Aquafresh.
There's no way. There's no way. They... Well, I'll talk about it on the podcast, but they've been getting away with this for far too long, Aquafresh. Time to come clean and admit that this is an engineering feat that is impossible.
That's right. They've been doing, I think, since 1973, Aquafresh, when they had the two colors. And then in 1983, 10 years later on the anniversary, they had the third color, which was for tartar. There was no, before that, it was just, I don't know what. I don't know what. I don't, this is the stuff, this is what it takes to sell. So like somebody thought, well, every other toothbrush is just one color. How can we get the idiots to buy our toothpaste? And I'll be honest with you, as a kid, it was kind of cool. We did think it was magic. The original Aquafresh, I think this is really why it upsets me. The original Aquafresh came in a tube that stood up and down, straight up and down. And it was like a pump, almost like, what you would look like to get hand soap out of, but without the little nozzle. And that, if I remember correctly, because this is, okay, I'm just figuring out why this upsets me. I think the Aquafresh colors used to come out really nicely with that original pump. Now, the only problem with the original pump was a lot of it got stuck in there. You could see through it. You could actually see the colors. In fact, they were I'm just realizing this all right. This was like, they were all separated in the tube. You could see the three separate compartments with the colors in it, and then you would pump it, and they would come out. Oh, this is like I've gone up under hypnosis, and I remember something bad that's been happened to me when I was a child, which is Aquafresh changed to a tube instead of the canister that you would pump, and it was actually hard to hit the pump, but the colors came out, and it lived up to the gimmick. It lived up. Now they switched to the tube, and it's crap. You saw what happened. But this is what it takes to sell people toothpaste. They've got to stand out. Well, I challenge you, Aquafresh, to get rid of the three colors. Get rid of the three colors. Reformulate. It's 2021, and we're being more honest, and it's time to say, you know what? It didn't work. It doesn't work now. I mean, think of all the advances. Electric cars. Think of all the advances. Smartphones. Think of all the advances. The internet. And Aquafresh still looks like this? How is this possible, Aquafresh? What are you guys sitting around doing nothing? Is there no research and development over there at Aquafresh? Nobody over there said, no young persons decided to come in and say, and think, I'm going to reinvent this product so it lives up to its three-color declaration of magic. Well, you never know what's going to happen when the mic goes on here. You never know. I just feel like my entire life I've been fed some level of bullshit, whether it's George Washington had wooden teeth. Turns out George Washington didn't have wooden teeth, but they told us that because we would listen more. They made George Washington, who, quite frankly, is not interesting to a young kid. They made George Washington interesting by telling us he had wooden teeth. Wooden teeth. I remember in class, I'm sitting there, they're talking about the first president. I'm like, yeah, all right, that was like forever ago. I want to just get out of here and play basketball. I want to think about what's now. And then the teacher said, interesting fact, he cut down a cherry tree. I'm like, who cares? Okay. Was that the guy cut down the cherry tree? And then they go, he had wooden teeth. I'm like, hold on. Hold up a second here. The guy did they not have aqua fresh? How do you mess up brushing your teeth that much that you have wooden teeth? They didn't have pores. Turns out, I think originally they used teeth of other animals. And maybe one person, and they look at that. That's how we're going to sell the president. We're going to get the kids interested by telling some crazy story about wooden teeth. Probably planted by the Aquafresh people. The Aquafresh people probably said, well, if we start the rumors that if you don't brush your teeth, you could have wooden teeth. You see how my mind thinks? This is all day. I used to just exist. I used to just wake up and there were no electronics. There was no connectivity. My life was very simple. I didn't have to worry about things second to second like the stock market or messages coming in. Like every time I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, you know what? I should Google that. Ding! Message. Now, 5 hours later, I go back to what I originally went there for. I mean, these phones are ruining our lives. Not only the phones, but technology. Every day something isn't working. And I'm sick of rebooting. I'm sick of telling my parents to reboot. I'm sick of my home kit not working on my phone. I'm sick of the Apple TV being out. I'm sick of this crashing, this not backing up. These cameras are recording or not recording. I'm so sick of this. Every day, I wrote something in my notes. Hold on. Let's see what I said in my notes, because this might end up in my act at some point. Now I've got to go into a different folder. May 21 jokes. Ready for this? Modern life sucks. Everything is a breaking story. Everything moves fast. We have to follow stocks minutely. Everyone wants an answer right away. And if you don't get back to them right away, they move on or they forget about you. Sensory overload. I think we're supposed to live a simpler existence. We used to run from dinosaurs. Now we run from ourselves. All right. Well, that's me trying to be deep, I guess. Now let's go back to the what's wrong with Orny Adams folder. But you know what I'm saying. It can't be healthy that we have to be accountable at all times. People have to know where we are. We have to answer right away. We have to answer emails. People think celebrities should sing happy birthday to them, so they go on Cameo and pay for it. How do we return to a simpler life? Like, I'm so happy I grew up in a time where I had a paper route. I used to go out and play with my friends. I didn't watch TV all the time. Wasn't waiting for breaking news. The president of the United States didn't have to speak every day. It used to be a big deal when the president spoke. It was a big deal. It was like, the president's speaking tonight. Look, the president's speaking. I hope everything's all right. Now it's like every minute. And I'm not talking about judging this president. I'm talking about the last president. I'm talking about this president, the last president, the president before. All of a sudden, presidents have to be seen. How about this? How about sit in an office and figure some crap out? We don't need you in front of the camera every single day. But stuff moves so fast. Like, think about what was a breaking story yesterday. Today, it's forgotten. It's insane. Our minds cannot process information this fast. And that's why I'm exhausted all the time. My mind is fuzzy. And as much as I try and disconnect, and believe me, I'm trying to disconnect, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because people need answers right away. Things move fast. If you don't book that airline ticket right now, tomorrow it goes up twice as much. It's like, if you don't get back to somebody right away, they make other plans. What's going on? Can we all just slow down and chill out? Whose life have we ruined today? Let's get back to simpler times. Simpler times. I'm going to do viewer mail in a second, and I'm going to talk about my return to stand-up comedy at the end. I can't imagine this is going to be an epically long podcast, but you know what happened this week? I guess J-Lo and Ben Affleck might be back together.
I guess when she was in the DM. Now, I don't know when all of a sudden everybody just started calling the Dominican Republic the DM, and we were supposed to understand what that means. Like, nobody said, hey, for now on, we're calling the Dominican Republic the DM. But now it's like mainstream. But I guess when she was down there, somebody was writing love letters. And now Bennifer might be back. Which I hate when couples... I hate when couples combine their names and they try and be cute. In fact, I don't like when couples try and be cute because the success rate of couples is very little. To the point where there are some people who on social media have to always announce they're in a relationship. They always have to announce it. They can't just let it be. They can't just enjoy it for themselves. They've got to prove to the world somehow that they're loved. I'm in relationships occasionally. Guess what? The other person doesn't even know. I don't announce it. You announce it, you're jinxing it. And I'm talking about I know one person, and this person is always announcing a new relationship once a year. I'm fascinated by it. And then puts up these pictures of them doing like coupley things. Maybe they're on a boat. Maybe they're on vacation. Maybe they're wine tasting to prove to us that they're normal. And I call bullshit. If you're normal, you don't have to prove it to people. You don't have anything. Send a few pictures to your family, maybe to your close friends that might get. Most people don't care. Nobody cares about your happiness. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nobody cares. I don't know if they ever did care. I felt like people used to care about my happiness. I don't think they care anymore. I think people care. In fact, people call me up to go, hey, Orny, how you doing? I'm like, oh, man, I'm having a great day. They're like, gotta go. I called to hear you complain. So nobody really cares. Nobody cares about your relationship. And you put it up there, and guess what? It doesn't always work out. And now you've announced it. Now you're the guy or the girl who pointed to right field and just went to knock it out of the park, and you didn't. And I've done that in my life and my career, so I know. And then you know what I do? I see the person announces they're no longer in a relationship or whatever, or the pictures disappear. I go, hey, what happened to that? What happened? So confident. Had to announce to the world. I had to take time out of my day to look at the other person's profile, judge whether you're a good couple, decide for myself if it's going to work out. And now look at this. And I'm sure, they do it again and again. The need. I dated a woman like this once. She was so obsessed with us going to the nicest hotel in San Diego for Valentine's Day because she wanted her friends to know that she was at the nicest hotel on a date for Valentine's Day. Guess what? Not with that woman anymore. Because at the time, I couldn't afford the nicest hotel in San Diego. I can now, but, I still wouldn't do it just to have a story. Keep your happiness to yourself. That's what I do now. Because I realize, maybe your family, maybe your parents. If you have a Facebook and you just have, your close friends, then okay, maybe. People are wackadoodle. Oh, but the Bennifer thing. This is good. This is sort of me yelling at the TV again. So what happened was I saw something trending on Twitter, and I clicked on it, which I don't know why half the time something's trending on Twitter. I can't figure out why it's trending on Twitter. I wish there would just be a line that said, Matt Damon's trending because Ben Affleck might be back together with J-Lo. So this is me because people love this. I get this a lot in the email, and I have 3 emails. I'm going to viewer emails. I will read today. Now listen, if you want to keep in touch with me, it's very simple. The email for the podcast is what'swrong@ornyadams.com. Let me repeat this to camera number 2. what'swrong@ornyadams.com. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And this podcast is on YouTube. Believe it or not. I will spend the next 3 days editing this video, or 2 days, or 1 day. It's getting easier with all this technology, or that I've updated so much. But you just go to ornyadams.com/podcast, and all the links are up there. Oh, I think you can go, what is it? Friends of Orny? I bought a website, and it all directs to the links. What was it? Team What's Wrong. Go to teamwhatswrong.com. Teamwhatswrong.com. And everything's up there. And, it'd be nice if we got a bunch of people, new listeners, new people. Share it. I do read the comments under YouTube. I do respond. I read most comments. I get a lot of emails. I can't respond to everybody. I can't, unfortunately, I wish I had time to get into dialogues with a lot of you guys, because you're very interesting. People are sending in topics for me to discuss now, and that's what I'm going to do in just a moment after I play this Matt Damon clip. I just want to, I don't know if I finished talking about the shell. This is an actual, look at this. This is my album cover. This is a hummingbird, a half-empty hummingbird. I only found half of it, close to where the nest was. And the hummingbirds, the eggs have hatched. I hope they have. If this is the result of another species having a hummingbird omelet, I'm going to be fired up. That doesn't go on in my yard. Oh, here's the other thing. Somebody wants me to discuss this, so I'll just sort of, let me do this now before I play the Matt Damon clip. Okay. This is from Allie, and she's in the UK. Hey, Orny, and she's at the top, and this is what I asked. You may use my name and email in the podcast if you wish. Well, I won't use your email, but your first name is Allie. And, hey, Orny, sending you a link to an interesting article that came out today from The Telegraph in the UK. Would be interesting hearing your take on a new anxiety issue that people have developed because of COVID-19 pandemic. I completely agree with you in that I am sick of hearing about it, almost as much as I'm sick of talking about it. Do you think there is a legitimacy here to this diagnosis? Also, cheers to a successful weekend of live shows. Thank you, Allie. So what she's discussing is COVID-19 anxiety syndrome. And this was diagnosed or not invented, but sort of the first person to come up with this medical theory. And I cannot pronounce her name, Professor Erna Nikovits. She's from the Kingston University of London, and I don't know, a lot of stuff going on with her credits and stuff like that. But COVID-19 anxiety syndrome, it has to do with people that are anxious about getting this disease still don't want to leave the house, have sort of developed PTSD and other symptoms. And I believe this is so prevalent, we don't even know it, how bad it is. In fact, I had something I would call September 11th anxiety syndrome. And I think that because America was not willing to say this was, like, really come to grips with this, I think there was a lot of denial that we weren't able to get over it. Like, sometimes you have to just sit there and go, shit, this is bad. We were sort of taken down. And, this is a country, America, where we're told we're, indestructible. That we're the greatest. We come with a dream. And I think, as time goes on, and we've seen with time, that may not be the case. And we sort of have been an aloof country and not necessarily the best posture to take with the world. Anyway, yet for some, this is COVID-19 anxiety syndrome. Professor Anna Nikovits. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name. Yet for some, going back out and mixing with other people is a concept filled with fear and anxiety. Despite vaccines and a decrease in disease prevalence, some people experience what scientists call COVID-19 anxiety syndrome. I've spent a year... Then I wrote this note underneath, which brings me to why I'm playing the clip from Matt Damon. I've spent a year at home yelling at my TV, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to re-enter the public, because I had a drink at the Improv a couple of weeks ago, and I said something to somebody that ordinarily, if I had my, out of the house drinking game up, wouldn't have said. I forget how to talk to people face to face when I've had a drink. So I'm very anxious about this. I'm very anxious about seeing people. I have nightmares about people wanting to shake my hand because I did shows in Connecticut Mohegan Sun 2 weeks ago, and people were trying to shake my hand. I'm like, we're not there yet. In fact, we might not go back there. So, I mean, I see people leaving public bathrooms not washing their hands. I don't need COVID to tell me not to shake hands anymore. I'll shake hands if there's a lot of money involved. That's when I'll shake hands. And then I'll clean up afterwards. I did enjoy shaking hands because you can really feel a person's soul. But, I got to think about my future. It would not be fair to the world if I departed early because of something I contracted shaking hands. Symptoms of this syndrome mimic those of other mental health conditions, including anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and the pandemic and related factors appear to be the cause. Now, I believe I will re-enter the world. I'll be fine. I find I'm very anxious. I find I'm exhausted a lot. I find just little things like getting to the airport not as easy as they once were. I find making my schedule, because I'm doing 6 shows this weekend, and dealing with each club in Los Angeles. I'm bouncing from one club to another. I found doing that, doing the math in my head, trying to figure out how I'm going to get to each venue, how I'm going to park. I found it overwhelming, whereas before it was rote. It was easy. So, I believe I'll recover, or I'm done, which is fine. I had a good run. I'm fine. But I believe that the young kids, and I have nieces and nephews, and some of them, they're all younger, definitely younger than me. And I think they're going to deal with fear of another pandemic, fear of germs. I grew up, my dad always said, embrace germs. Germs are good. The germs help your immunity. And I subscribe to that. I'm still not shaking your hand, but that's what I subscribe to. So, I fear for the younger generation. I think this is going to stay with them for life, just like you hear about, what is it, when the Wall Street market, the depression babies. I believe we're going to have COVID babies, kids that will never get over this, and I do not blame them one bit. This is really, really hard to process. And, just seeing people in masks, and it's scary, and we're just disconnected. So I think that's the bigger problem. I think the bigger problem is the youth and whether they can recover and how we help them recover. And I'd like to see people get on this. And if nobody's going to get on this, I will. Because you need germs to build up an immunity, and you need to get out there in life. You got to get out there. I know people are still waiting to get. I'm for the vaccine. I love the vaccine. I love that I can go out. I feel good. I wish more people would get the vaccine, but Bigfoot said don't get it. So now people aren't going to get it. And, I'm not talking to, I'm sure there are some exceptions, people that have compromised immune systems or some fears, or certainly if I was pregnant, I wouldn't get it. Certainly if I was pregnant, I'd have bigger concerns, I think. So, I like it. I'm re-entering the world. I'm not worried about variants. I feel, and I have no scientific proof of this, that because I have it, I'm not going to end up in the hospital, even if I get a variant. And guess what? At some point, you got to live your life. And that's where I am. That's a choice I've decided, is I'm going to live my life. I'm not around people I'm worried about infecting. So I've re-entered, and I'm doing 6 shows this weekend. I'll be in Los Angeles at the Laugh Factory. I'll be at the Improv. I'm doing the Roosevelt Hotel. I'm doing some other outdoor venues, and the Whitley. And let me tell you, I don't put up links to my local shows because I like the freedom of just doing the shows. When I'm on the road, it's all my fans, and I have to be on, and I have to deliver to those fans, and they're paying to see me. Okay. So when I'm here, I want to enjoy just doing a show. I'd rather do a show for people that don't know me, which is a lot of the times the case here in Los Angeles. People go, geez, where'd you come from? Well, let me tell you a little story, kids. Been doing this a long time. That's what I tell them. Been doing it a long time. And then there was one night that derailed a great portion of my career. That's the truth. I may discuss it at some point. I wrote it as a bit. And then I read it. I'm like, geez, this is really sort of lofty, preachy stuff. Don't do this, Orny. Just get up there and yell about Aqua Fresh. You know, that's what they want to see. That's what they want to see. And I've been doing I did the Aqua Fresh bit on stage last Saturday at the Whitley. So I'm out and about and I'm having a good time. And I went to Connecticut and I did shows. So, yeah, I do believe, thank you for the email, Allie. I do believe that there is a anxiety syndrome. Certainly, we call it whatever you want. There's anxiety involved with COVID. We will be dealing with this for the rest of our lives. Will there be another pandemic? And hopefully the next time we come together more as a world, and we've learned from this, I hope. But, you know, I doubt it. History seems to repeat itself in my lifetime. In my lifetime. How many gas shortages do we have to have in my lifetime? Okay, so I'll do the other two emails after I play this clip. This is me. This is sort of me yelling at the TV again. Here's a great moment, and please enjoy. Big news for people born before 1980. Oh, hold on. Do you think I should have, like, intro music for that? Because I feel like there was no transition, right? Hold on. No, that's lame. Ba-da-da-da. That's the Orny Yells theme. Hold on. No, that's good. Ending a podcast type music. Oh, that's kind of interesting. These are the old vintage pop. Let's go to that. All right, here we go. Well, on Saturday, I don't like that. I don't like that one beat. Love Life? What's this? Okay, we're all happy and everything. Here we go. So, this is happy music. So anyway, here is a clip of me getting worked up. Big news for people born before 1980. Are Ben Affleck and J-Lo a couple of... Is Bennifer once again? This is Matt Damon being interviewed. I guess he's in Australia promoting something on the Today Show.
We need to talk about something.
Yeah, very important topic.
Your friend, Ben Affleck. And a little thing we call Bennifer. How do you like them apples?
Oh, he's not too sick of that. How do you like them apples? I mean, can you imagine how many times he has to hear people that say that stupid thing to him? How are those them apples?
How about if we ask you this? Did the news make it to Australia? How did you even know that Bennifer was...
Did the news make it to Australia?
I just heard you guys.
How insulting. Yeah, they have a little something called the internet there in Australia. Stupid.
It's a fascinating story.
Imagine that. Let's get back to... Hold on. Let's get back to the apples. Imagine that. A quote from a movie you did 25 years ago, and now people think they're so cute and funny when they say it. This poor Matt Damon's walking down the street. I guarantee people are yelling, "How about them apples?" I would yell back, "How about quoting a movie I've done since then?" What? Nothing I've done since Good Will Hunting is worth quoting? Nothing? How about something from the Bourne Supremacy? Anything from that? Oh. I didn't say anything funny in Manchester by the Sea. Orny yells at his TV. Manchester by the Sea. Boy, my mind. Where did that come from? Oh, I didn't play the dots thing. Do I do that now? This is from the Aqua Fresh segment. Let me play this. Maybe this isn't interesting. If it isn't, I apologize. But let's just get it out of the way. This is a video of me on the road. I'm on the East Coast. I believe we're traveling from Erie, Pennsylvania, Eric and I, going down to Jersey City to perform at a casino there. And I was picking up dots along the way. The experiment was to see if there were green dots as much as the other ones. And I was convinced, but my mind must have been tricking me, because I opened up, and believe me, I bought boxes. And then I was interviewing people in the aisle of stores, asking them what their favorite color was and if they believed that there weren't enough greens. And a lot of people agreed with me there weren't enough greens. Now, I may have been leading the witness, so to speak, but, you know, it was interesting. I kept buying people dots. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun until this happened. This moment right here.
And you ready? All right, let's see.
My friend Eric is filming.
One.
I've opened the package of dots and I've put them on like a ledge, like a wall. I'm sitting on a wall looking at the dots.
Kind of a lot of dots.
Uh-oh, that's when I realized there's a lot of greens. And I'm picking out the greens right now, and I'm just shaking. Yeah, it's a bummer. I know it's over. I know.
What if it's exactly? I feel so dumb.
So
2,
greens,
4,
yellows, orange,
6,
red,
8, 10, 12, 14.
14
Look at
greens.
this.
14 greens.
3 yellow.
3 yellows. And yellows are pretty good.
If you're a yellow lover right now, you're not happy.
That's right.
And what is that on there?
It's a deformed one. So I threw it at Eric.
See, orange.
I'm picking out
Dude,
the orange.
I just spilt the most epic amount of green, and I can't even eat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Holy, there's only 5 orange.
Yeah, because the greens are all over the. Let me just interrupt. I'm sitting on a wall, a short wall. There's bushes behind me. I'm dressed really well for this video. It's really a bummer that I didn't get to, put this out there. I'm glad I'm putting it out now because what a great outfit. I'll probably still wear that outfit now. But this is the moment I realized there are a lot of greens, and they're on this disgusting wall outside of like a Target, and I'm not going to eat them. Eric, of course, eats them at the end, but let me continue playing.
This video's dead.
Which state is this?
This is Dots USA. This is rigged. They knew I was doing this. That's the most green I've ever seen. Damn.
Deflated.
What do we do now?
Goes deeper than you thought, man.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 red.
19 red, 14
and,
green, 3 yellow, 1 deformed one.
It's about, what is this, watermelon flavor? No one cares. No one gives a no one cares about that. And there's, what, 6?
6 watermelons. Threw them at Eric. Somehow he caught one in his mouth.
You ate it?
Yeah, I mean, it's watermelon. I don't mind it.
You're a pig.
That's fine.
Let's open up your package now. We got more.
That is Eric Trundy. He's a buddy, and really like him. He's down in North Carolina. I hope he's doing well. We connect every once in a while, and he's either doing well or he's out in the woods off the grid freaking out. So anyway, and yeah, so that's the dot thing, and then the Matt Damon thing. How about them apples? I mean, let's do some viewer mail, and then I'm going to discuss a little bit of me returning to stand-up comedy. And my tour schedule is up at ornyadams.com/tour. You just go to ornyadams.com, spell it correctly so you get there, and links for this podcast, for the video, the audio, for my social media, and, of course, my tour schedule. I do not announce local shows. Look for the clubs. I play all the clubs. I play most venues, so you can find it that way. I don't promote my local shows. I don't. I'm there doing 15 minutes. If you're going to pay to see me, watch me do an hour. But I will be this weekend. So this podcast will release on Friday. This weekend, I will be at Laugh Factory and Improv are the big ones. And then the other ones are, they're cool too. Just not going to give out all the information. And I am returning to the road next month. I believe mid-June, maybe 10, 11. Let's look at my calendar. It's right here. Let's get these dates right. Let's see. June 7 and 8. I will be. Well, that's May. Sorry. Isn't it weird that like months and days of the week matter again? June 11th and 12th. June 11th and 12th, 2021, I will be at the Tempe Improv. Tempe Improv. Last week, 4 people on Instagram asked me, when am I returning to Tempe, Arizona or Scottsdale? I will be at the Tempe Improv. Please come. Please get tickets. Please, let's make my return to stand-up comedy as pleasant as possible. I don't think they're selling full capacity, so some shows may go sooner than others. Saturday Night First usually goes, first show usually goes first. So that is June 11th and 12th. June 17, 18, and 19, I will be in New Brunswick, New Jersey. It's a new, the Stress Factory. It's the newer Stress Factory. I've never been there, and I don't know who lives there. I hope to meet some new people. I hope to see some old people. Maybe you just saw me at Mohegan Sun, and you know people that live in that area, because that was in Uncasville, Connecticut, New Brunswick, Connecticut. And then I will take the train right there home to Boston, and I will see my family again. I saw them 2 weekends ago. I will keep you updated as dates come in. I don't want to go over all the dates. I don't want to brag that I was just booked in Hawaii in October for a private show. I do a lot of private shows. I may have one next month too. I enjoy it. I do a lot of corporate shows and private shows. Corporations will fly me all over the world, and sometimes they send a jet. And I have fun. I get dressed up. Sometimes I have to wear a black tie, and I perform. You have to be on your best behavior, and that is the case. I'm doing a corporation in Hawaii in October. And what's exciting about it is when that offer came in last week, and I think we're in contracts now, and hopefully it doesn't fall through, knock on wood. I thought, wow, we're returning to normal. Corporations are hiring comedians. This is a great sign. This is a great sign. Oh, also in regards to local shows, a lot of people, friends, sort of friends, and then people I have no clue who they are on social media will say, hey, let me know the next time you're performing in Tempe. Well, let me tell you something. I don't have time to invite every single person to a show. How about if you're that interested, take a look at my tour schedule. Take a listen to my podcast. Look at my social media feed. I gotta put together an act, and I gotta get there. And it's bring my merchandise to sell. The energy. Like every time I do this podcast, isn't it enough I do the podcast? It used to be enough, and then I had to add all this video. You should see this setup right now. I'm looking at switchboard, like a board. So I'll call it a switchboard. A board, a switcher over there, monitors, all these lighting. I mean, and that light was supposed to be on. All right. Well, I forgot to turn that light on. Now, I'll tell you something. If it wasn't me, I'd start going in on somebody. Go, dude, you forgot to put the light on. That's your one job, to get the light on. But I can only yell at me. That's right. The man in the lens. Orny Adams is the man in the lens. Orny Adams is the man in the lens. He's a man that used to talk to himself every single day during the pandemic. He would yell at the TV. And now, he's got to take his brain and re-enter the world. How does he do that? He was the man in the lens. Now he's the man in your face. Orny Adams. Oh, there's a lot wrong. There's a lot wrong with Orny Adams. Yeah, he went a little nutty during the pandemic. Now he's got to unnutty himself as he enters being around other people again. He was the man in the lens. All right. I don't know. Let's go to this mail. Oh, this is in regards to me doing stand-up, so I'll do that. I love when people acknowledge I'm a stand-up. Isn't that nice? When it's not all about coach this, coach that. I mean, I love being coached, but hello! Coach is starting to feel like, how are them apples? Done a little, some other things since Coach. Showtime special. More Than Loud. Okay? I love that comedy. Hate my hair in it. Probably hate my hair in this video. Done a lot of things. This podcast. Hello. I love hello. Hello. Hi. You may share or share not. I'm angry that we have come to this. Anger over a kiss in a fairy tale. My goodness, somebody tell Barnes & Noble to scrap all the old... Is Barnes & Noble still open? Scrap all their old fairy tale books off the shelves. As, you know, as an older person, because they would say Amazon or whatever, or say Kindle or whatever, or, you know, Apple books. As if there's nothing going on in the world now, cancel culture is going after the Snow White ride at Disneyland. She includes a link. I look at it. I'm flabbergasted. Come on, the whole thing is getting out of the hand. I'm about ready to go and move off the grid. Yeah, me too. And not because of this. Because I'm sick of technology. And I love technology, and I'm sick of technology. If I didn't need all my meds so bad... Oh, well, she said I could read it. Well, nothing like admitting your own meds and going a little bit off on... this email. Live off the land, trash all technologies. They won't have to hear what ludicrous waste of time some people have on their hands. I would argue the merits of fairy tales and kisses, curses, even stepmothers. But then somebody else out there might get offended about how Disney, and even if it wasn't Disney, originated this idea, or perpetuates the idea of evil stepmothers. When does it stop? I'll tell you when. When do we all look at things and go, it's a story? And even though I don't agree with it, I have to let others make their own judgments. My last thoughts on this, my last thought is this. Will Disney cave into the squeaky wheels, or will they ignore them and continue to give us, those who love the timeless classics, a way to envision it in 3D? So she wants it not only scrapped, but to be in 3D. And what she's talking about is this. Where are my notes on this? Disney Imagineer. They have not engineers, they have Imagineers. So cute. Backlash over Snow White's ride, a non-consensual kiss. So I guess in the ride, longtime Disney Imagineer Jim Shull has responded to an overwhelming backlash that has been circulating since Snow White's Enchanted Wish, the updated Snow White ride at Disneyland. I didn't even know they updated it. It's been updated, everybody. Debuted a few weeks ago, included what many felt was a non-consensual kiss between Prince Charming and Snow White, allowing for the fact that cultural changes occur over decades. It must be acknowledged that in the context of the tale on which the film is based, that the ride is accurate. So he's defending it, I believe. The original ride used an ending that included the evil queen falling to her death, a sometimes scary and jarring moment for young children. Well, that's the ending I want to see. Evil people getting their due. I would say, kids, we need more of that in life. That's right. Root for the bad people to die. I know people go, oh, that's not very zen and evolved of you. That's not. I go, I don't care. I want nice people. In fact, I may be reviewing a book that is about baboons in this exact topic. I won't say more because I may not read the book. I'm finding reading harder and harder. All right, so the criticism is this. The updated ride now ends with Prince Charming giving true love's kiss to Snow White in order to wake her from eternal sleep after being poisoned by the evil queen's apple. Criticism for the moment mounted after an article written by theme park reviewers went viral, calling out the ending as outdated, inappropriate for the current day. Now, I understand both sides. Here's the deal. So, if I remember this correctly, Snow White ate an apple. Now, a lot of apples you got to deal with. How about them apples? You got
Didn't they? The Garden of Eden apple. Right? They ate an apple? Was it an apple? And then now this apple. Lots of people eating apples and getting sick. In fact, when I was a kid in Halloween, there were people slipping razor blades into apples. So be careful of apples. That's my advice to everybody. Be careful of apples. Snow White eats the apple, gets sick. She's in basically a coma. Now, there's a couple of ways we can look at this, because that's what I like to do. If you watch my stand-up, I want to examine things. That's why nobody knows where I stand. You don't know where I stand, because I'm going to check both sides. And I'm checking both sides here right now. Yes, I agree. A man should not walk up. If there's a woman passed out, this is my advice to young men. If there's a woman passed out on the sidewalk, do not walk up and just kiss her. Or somebody at a party drinks too much, do not kiss her. And that goes for women too. I can't tell you how many times I've been enjoying my sleep and I've been kissed against my will by strangers. But here's the deal. Here's the other way to look at this. Maybe this is a metaphor. Maybe this is an allegory, whatever that is. Maybe this is, they're saying it wasn't really a kiss. She was in a coma. Would she rather, okay, let me ask you a question. I'll answer this. Would you rather be in a coma for the rest of your life or endure the kiss of a person for a half a second, or I don't know how long the kiss is. I'm sure there wasn't tongue. It's Disney. To wake up from the coma. And I'll answer that. You would absolutely take the kiss. And how do I know that? Because anytime someone's passed out or they're sick or they've just been submersed in water and drowned, what happens? Something called CPR. CPR, which stands for something with a C and a P and probably R for respiratory. What does CPR stand for? And I don't want to hear people go, yeah, I didn't know what CPR stood for. Well, hold on, I'll tell you if I did in a second. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Okay? Why don't we look at that? In fact, that's how the Disney ride should end. He should just go, start pumping. He should kiss her and then pump the chest and go, clear! Clear! There's a fine line. That's what I'm saying. There's a fine line between an enchanted kiss and CPR. But both get you out of a coma. Keep sending your emails to what's wrong at ornyadams.com. What's wrong at ornyadams.com. I have returned to stand-up comedy. Where's my transition music for I have returned to stand-up comedy. Okay, so this is from the improv last week. There was a guy in the front row who was laughing so much that he was at least 2 jokes behind. At minimum. I don't have time to stop the show and pace it for one person that is enjoying the joke so much that they're still laughing at the previous joke into the next joke and into the next joke. And so I had to say something because I only had like 20 minutes on stage and I got to get to it. You know what I mean? I was closing the show. I got to bring it home. So I said to this guy, seems like you're laughing a little bit out of context here. What's going on? I didn't know if he was mocking me. I didn't know if he had laughed at the other comedians like that. I had just come in. I was coming from another show. So I got an email from Mike Long. I asked if I could use his name. He said, hey, buddy, just wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed your set on Saturday night. ! Want to see it? Right in the print right there, ! I was the guy in the front row that you said laughed out of context. The problem was I couldn't stop laughing uncontrollably the entire set. Well, welcome to an Orny Adams show. I had the pleasure of seeing you pre-pandemic at the Improv in Tempe where you headlined. Hey, Mike, I'll be back next month. Didn't we go over this already? Next month. Oh, I got to find it again. Next month, June 11 and 12, Tempe Improv. OrnyAdams.com/tour for tickets. Why am I interrupting this great letter? Just wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed your set last Saturday night. I had the pleasure of seeing you pre-pandemic at the Improv in Tempe where you headlined. Oh. It was such a blast, and that's the night my girlfriend and I discovered you and now can be counted as 2 of your biggest fans. Welcome aboard. Thank you, Mike. I've seen so many comics over the years, but never has a comic inflamed my hernia the way you do. That's right, I'm the hernia inflamer.
I'm the hernia inflamer. I literally have a small hernia. I don't know why it's literally. I mean, you have it. Why add literally? I have a small hernia. Why not just say, I don't want to lie. You ever hear people say that? I don't want to lie. I'm not going to lie. I have a small hernia. And then it's like, well, why would you lie about that? It's always, I'm not going to lie is always followed by something that, like, why would you ever lie about that? I'm not going to lie. I love cupcakes. Well, why'd you lie about loving cupcakes? So you love cupcakes. Would you ever lie about that? Would you ever, like, someone say, oh, you like, how do you feel about cupcakes? Well, you know, they're okay. But deep down inside, you're thinking, I love cupcakes. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I love cupcakes. Stupid. I literally wish the word literally would just disappear from the English language. I literally have a small hernia, and if I laugh too long and too hard, we've got issues. We had issues that night in Tempe, and again, we had issues this past Saturday in Hollywood. They were at the Improv. My girlfriend and I recently moved. She's using paragraphs. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. I take emails more seriously when the paragraphs have been well thought out. Great grammar here. One word literally, but that's okay. He's one of my biggest fans. I'm going to allow it. My girlfriend and I recently moved to LA area, so looking forward to catching you more often. Love the podcast. Love the podcast. This guy's a comedy fan and a podcast fan. Thank you. Thank you, Mike Long. And thank you to your girlfriend who sent me an email too, and I'm not going to read that one. Kidding. Can we joke anymore? They were a good-looking couple, if I remember correctly. Love the podcast, love the comedy. Thanks for all you do, Mike. And then he talks about robots never taking over the world. He said that's one of his favorites. That's my closing bit right now, which I saw somebody at the Laugh Factory recording the other day on their iPhone. I'm going, this is my closer, and I haven't done this on like a special yet. Please don't release it. Please don't record us. My act is my soul. Anyway, my return to comedy, stand-up comedy, has gone great. The shows at Uncastful were fantastic. It's as if nothing changed. Thursday night, one lady walked out of the show. She was angry because I refused to stop the show and wish her husband a happy 66th birthday. Can you imagine that? Or 63rd. He was in his 60s. They're upset that she kept yelling out. I'm like, what? She's like, it's his birthday. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. This isn't Cameo. I don't stop the show. What am I, stop the show and look at, this room's packed. I'm supposed to stop the show and ask every table if there's something I need to announce or address. It's a show. Sit there and shut up. Sometimes I'm amazed at people that interrupt my show and I go, hey, could you just, calm down? And then they go back to talking again. And you're like, I would be embarrassed if a performer, and yes, I'm a performer, ever stopped their show and addressed me and said, hey, could you just, I would be mortified. Not these idiots. Not these idiots. She couldn't believe. And they were in the front row, and I think you pay like $60 or $75 a ticket to sit in the front row. And she was upset that I wouldn't stop the show and wish her husband. They were so drunk. Imagine being that drunk. I assume drunk. You know what? I'm going to take that back. Maybe they weren't drunk. So, imagine that. So I got heckled. Then the venue has a band that plays outside of the room. That band started playing during my final set, the last 10 minutes, so I had to compete with that noise. So we're right back to where we were. So fantastic. The love affair with being out of the house and not heckling people is over. And I have such deep love and respect for stand-up comedy. And like I said on the last podcast, I wasn't sure if I was going to return, and that's the truth. But my mind, since I've been on stage, has been so fertile. I've been writing so much, and I apologize. I haven't done a podcast since the last one, which was a couple of weeks ago, because I was traveling, because I was all consumed. And I know this is going to surprise many people, but I can't do more than one thing at a time. I might not even be able to go to the gym today now because I'm so tired. This has gone on longer than I thought. So I'm going to do my best. I know people say, no, you can do it. Just talk. This isn't just talk. Do you see all the notes? Do you see? I had to go to the dollar store and buy aqua fresh. And then I'm researching about Snow White. I'm researching about this pandemic anxiety disorder. I'm Tang. I'm pulling clips of Tang videos. What other Tang commercials, of Aquafresh commercials. I always think it's funny on YouTube when, in order to watch an old commercial, they make you watch a new commercial. Like, that to me is so fun. Oh, I have to sit through a commercial to get to the commercial? So I can't. I'm going to do my best. I can't just, do this podcast sort of like casually. I can't do anything casually. For years, my agent's like, just do one take. Just do it. Just stop. Just get up on stage. Enjoy. I don't. That's why people like Mike enjoy my show so much. If you're somebody who likes to see somebody who's prepared and pours all of themselves into something, then I'm your guy. I'm your comic. If you obsess about small things like Aquafresh and the colors, and it truly drives you nuts, and I believe it does, by the number of people on stage that just sort of chuckled when I said, am I the only one that gets upset about the Aquafresh colors aren't coming out at this, like it looks on the tube? And I could tell there was something there. If you're one of those people, welcome home. Welcome to What's Wrong with Orny Adams. This is the place for you. So please keep in touch. What's Wrong at ornyadams.com is the email, and you know where to find this. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's out there. And if you think there are other people like me, and I'm not going to be extreme, because I know that's how to trick the algorithm. It's to be extreme. Be extreme. Say extreme shit. I'm not playing that game. If I have fewer viewers together as viewers, that's my benefit, then I'm fine with it. I really am. But I want to thank the people that continue to come back and continue to support me. I really do. Welcome back. This is episode 26. What's Wrong with Orny Adams? Guess what? I'm Orny Adams.
What's his name, Kev? Orny Adams.
What's wrong with Orny Adams? What's wrong with Aquafresh? Well, the colors don't come out at the same time. What's wrong with finding old hummingbird eggshells? We don't know if it was an omelet for another species or they're safe. I'd like to know that the hummingbirds are safe. Could you check in with me, please, hummingbirds? And what's wrong with Snow White getting kissed? You decide. And get out of the house. Live your life. Do everything to overcome COVID anxiety syndrome. Did we discuss anything else? Tang. Thank you, Ernesto Hurtado. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next time for episode 27. Oh, wait a minute. You got to see this. Let me play this video quickly, in case people are wondering. What happened after the experiment I did with the Tuba Tuesday? Do I let things go to waste? Oh, because I know people are going to ask. Yes, I am going to use this Aquafresh. We don't waste over here. That's right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time, everybody.